Hey there, fancy meeting you guys here. Day number 201. So if we're still walking from yesterday, I'd like to congratulate you guys on that. 201 of the at-home fitness programming. I am Coach A, and welcome to At-Home Fitness with Coach A, the YouTube channel that aims to bring you guys in gym quality coaching and workouts for your at-home needs. Now, it is Friday, and we are going to celebrate by theoretically doing something easier than Thursday. How's that sound? Especially after yesterday's 200th celebration, I think we need to get to something that's a little bit more upper body. So here's what we're looking at for today. The strength opponent is going to be a 10-minute alternating EMOM. So starting on the minute, alternating between two different movements. The first movement is going to be between 12 and 16 total reps, so that is 6 to 8 each arm of a dumbbell plank row. Set the weight to be challenging to fall almost a quality max in that 12 to 16 range, but then also obviously being able to get that done in under a minute with a little bit of rest time to spare. Now, second piece here is going to be a glute bridge. You're going to take those dumbbells you use or a dumbbell, and you are going to put them on the top of your hips and do a weighted glute bridge with them. Again, 12 to 16 reps. We're not going to alternate legs, do a single leg on this. This is going to be 2 feet on the ground at a time, and both should be somewhere in the same time frame, moving slowly and under control. Probably going to have to move a little bit more slowly and under control, really emphasize the extension on that glute bridge. Second piece for today is going to be our workout. Short, quick, it is Friday. Tomorrow, as always, is Super Sucky Saturday, so we're not trying to level you guys today, especially with what happened yesterday. 5 rounds is the time frame for our workout today. You're going to do 15 dumbbell push press. Theoretically, we should be able to use these same dumbbells here that we used in the top piece up here for the plank rows and the glute bridge. And then if I want to carry these, or if I have something else I'd like to carry, maybe even a little bit heavier, I'm going to do a 100-foot suitcase carry. I will show you guys this on the modifications and demonstrations in a second, but this is basically just holding the weights at our sides, almost like you would hold grocery bags. So 5 rounds, 15 push press, 100-foot carry, then a suitcase position, and bam, done. Stick around. Modifications, demonstrations coming your way. Interesting little lift for you guys today, combination here. We're going with a 10-minute alternating EMOM. Both pieces are going to be 12 to 16 total reps on these dumbbell plank rows, alternating arms. That's going to be 6 to 8 each side. If you guys are doing this in a manner where you cannot alternate back and forth, then we're just going to simply finish one side before moving on to the other. Focusing on stabilizing that movement with our core, kind of an anti-rotational core movement, while we work the lats and shoulder complex to make the pull. From there, on the next minute, we're going to move on to the weighted glute bridge. So I'm going to set myself up in a glute bridge position on the ground, stack those weights, ideally the same ones that we just used in the plank row, on top of the hips, and lift into the glute bridge from there. Again, 12 to 16 reps. This time, however, we're using both feet. Feel free to position your feet as you need to maintain a 90-degree knee at the top and get the strong squeeze in the hamstrings and glutes, even if that means, as you see me doing here, popping my heels up a little bit more aggressively. Who's ready for the workout? All right, so we are looking at ourselves. 5 rounds, 15 dumbbell push press, and a 100-foot suitcase carry. Dumbbell weight is up to you. It can be unbroken, but it does not have to be unbroken. What I'm looking for is the transition from the hips to the shoulder overhead energy. Make it move. Start it at the feet. Finish it with the hands up top. Remember, we're looking for a nice tall vertically lined position. Control and a little bit of pop from the hips is our focus on setting that weight. So you can break it up, you can not break it up. That's up to you. On the carry, I'm going to grab some plates just to give you guys some different ideas of things we can utilize to carry, and then I'm off on my 100-meter carry, or 100-foot carry. In this scenario, I'm going 50 feet out and 50 feet back. And as I get back here, I'm going to turn, show you the shoulder position I'm looking for here. So shoulder blades are set back and down. Weights should be just outside your pockets in line with that vertical position, that vertical line we're looking for when we're going overhead in this push press. And we are back to the dumbbells for our next round of 15. So there's no real rest on this. It is go, go, go with whatever you weight. Stay tuned for movement modifications. Alright guys, so coming at you with some modifications here. I'm going to go through backwards real quick just to make this a little bit easier to speak through since it flows better. On the carry. Suitcase carry means at the sides. We talked about body position when we're doing the walk itself. It can be single arm. We're looking at 100 feet, so you can do 50 down, 50 back if you need to. You can even extend that distance a little bit, honestly, if we need to. If we are going to go single side, let's try and make that pretty heavy since you're not going to do the turnaround, so to speak, or the full distance we're looking at. I have a deadlift hex bar here. That is something I could walk and carry. I could almost carry a barbell on a single side, carry plates if I were to, let's look at this one so you guys can see it. If I were to grab those plates on the end, on the top, and walk with them, that's something I can carry. Kettlebells. I have a weight vest that I can carry. I could load a book bag to be about the same weight as that weight vest, and I can carry the two of them. So all kinds of different ways of doing this. When it comes to the push press, a few things I want to go through here. If you guys want to turn this into wall balls, yes, you can technically turn it into a wall ball if that's really the only equipment we have. If we're looking at a barbell, push press with a barbell, no big deal. 15 reps is something you should have a shot at, but not necessarily a must-have in terms of getting it done unbroken. So if you want to load the weight up a little bit heavier, that's fine. If we're looking at a single arm, so unilateral stuff, we have a 4-time workout. It is not an AMRAP, so we don't have to worry about taking a ton of time on one side, not having to worry about the other. So if you guys want to load up that single side, do all 15 and then switch it over to the other side and do all 15. You guys have plenty of time to do that. All right, and then maybe we even toss in a 100-foot carry right, 100-foot carry left, and we're basically doing double the workout, but we're breaking that up so the full workout becomes a unilateral piece. More than happy with that. That is perfectly fine. So find yourself a way to do it. The ideas are using the hips to go overhead and carrying down at our waist, at our hips, so to speak. Ideally it's balanced, but if we don't have that ability, unbalanced is fine as well. Now let's go back to the strength stuff. We have our plank rows and our weighted glute bridges. I don't care how you weight the glute bridge. You can even, let's say the barbell is a bench, we can even prop the shoulders on the bench and do that hip thrust, okay? Something that's a little bit more hip thrust. Hip thrust means shoulders are elevated up on a bench versus glute bridge, shoulders are flat down on the ground, okay? Theoretically, they're basically the same movement. You are going to use your hamstrings a little bit differently on one versus the other, but they are both glute dominant movements, so they both get the same point. We can technically even use a band for those. If we find something we can hook the band onto, pushing up, we're using that band as resistance. I have seen people hook the bands under their feet and then loop the bands up over their thighs and push from there. It's challenging because the band tends to slide for most people, but if that's something you can pull off, then that's something you can pull off. For the plank rows, the two things I'm looking for here is that lat, posterior shoulder rowing movement, and the anti-rotational core work that comes with it, okay? So if we want to do a barbell here, meaning we don't have a dumbbell, we don't have kettlebells, then I would probably want you to set it up so you row the end of it. And that should allow you to prop yourself maybe on the floor, maybe on a bench, something along those lines. Very similar to what we have to do if we have that kettlebell, right? The kettlebell is longer than the dumbbell, so usually what has to happen with that kettlebell is we have to prop ourselves up in the air a little bit, obviously not necessarily as high as this bar is, maybe just 3 or 4 inches, so we can have a full range of motion for the kettlebell row, okay? Which case, keep in mind on both of those, you're probably going to want to do all one side and then switch to do all the other. So like 6 to 8 reps each side and make your change, because switching back and forth, that's going to take too much time as we're doing this in an EMOM, I don't want you to have to spend that much time transitioning. One of my personal favorite movements that we do with bands is that side plank row. So one of the ways we can modify this, I'm going to do this standing up so you guys can kind of see, is I'm going to hold myself in a side plank position, so the ground's down here, forearms on the ground. I'm going to have the band anchored out in front of me. I'm going to grab that band while I'm in the side plank, and I'm going to pull the band and row it while holding and stabilizing that side plank. It gives me both the pull, the lat work, the posterior shoulder work, and the anti-rotational core work / stability work on those obliques. So it really is a pretty cool movement for when it comes to utilizing that many muscle groups at once. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Don't forget to tap that like and subscribe button so these workouts get delivered to you guys and it's easier to get to me.